Oh man, this is the episode where I'm gonna have to try to explain how I like a character whose show I've not even watched. From Transformers Adventure, the Japanese version of Robots in Disguise 2015, this is Steeljaw. For anyone who doesn't know, Steeljaw was the main antagonist, at least for a little bit, of Robots in Disguise. His big claim to fame is that he was a werewolf man, kinda, and he had the personality of a used car salesman. I really enjoy Steeljaw. I've never seen Robots in Disguise. I don't know the show, but I've seen enough clips where I like how smooth he is. I've seen a clip where I guess he's in a ship full of other Decepticons and he immediately talks himself into a position of power. And then there's also the fact that he was the main antagonist of Last Spot Standing, and I thought he was incredible in that book. Like, seriously, one of my favorite characters in all of IDW, despite the fact that he only had like 3 issues to work in. I like Steeljaw. I think he's super cool. I like his design. I like his idea. I love the idea of post-war Decepticon trying to smooth his way into a position of power. And with all that said, I do like this toy, even though it has a whole lot of issues. Just looking at the truck, it's cool. It's actually been modeled to look a little bit like a wolf head, to invoke the shapes of a wolf's head. That's why you have basically like dog ears down here. I also like this little detail. Very tiny scratched out Decepticon logo. So keep in mind, I've not seen the show, but I think the idea here is that the Autobots put a tracking device inside the Decepticon logos, so Steeljaw scratched it out to get rid of the device, but he claims he did it so he could denounce the Decepticon way, maybe? Again, even if that's not the idea, I like the concept that he did this so that he could evade suspicion, which is why it's really weird that we have a giant Decepticon logo right there. That's just part of the toy line. Here in the United States, this was for an app game. I don't know if it's the same thing in Japan or not, but I really wish it wasn't there because this is so nice. And the worst part is, even if you took the sticker out, it's sculpted in. Like, there's a divot that's sculpted, so if you take it out, there's just a weird hole in the windshield. Yeah, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you take the sticker off, it's going to look weird. If you keep it on, it also looks weird. I just wish that, like, this was that. I wish you scratched that out, because that's a cool thing. Also, there's a dog tail back here. That's weird. I like the car a lot, though. It rolls really well. The paint is nice. It's a cool-looking truck all around. Steeljaw is kind of weird and funky, so I'm just going to transform him so that people can see. Also, because I'd noticed a lot of people don't review Robots in Disguise 2015. I take it's because it's, a lot of people saying that they're too adult for this stuff. I don't know. I don't get it. The first transformation step is we're going to unfurl the tail, like so. And now we have a tail. Whoa! A truck with a tail, just like that movie Monster Truck. We're now going to unhook the front. I say that. Maybe I'm doing something super wrong here. Yeah, I'm doing something super wrong. So, trying to unfurl the front. There we go. This is the reason I don't do on-screen transformations. It's because sometimes I have no idea what I'm doing. So, there we go. You just gotta split everything apart like I just did. And now you have this all going. The legs are pretty cool in their transformation. You just gotta unfurl them a little bit. And then, doop. You give him these kind of canine-esque legs. So again, you're going to unfurl. Oh, come on. You're going to unfurl like this. There we go. Have that going. And now you have this kind of center mass. We're going to keep the tail coming down, fold up the arms, and then bring the backpack around, which is going to not only show you the head, but also give you the place where you're going to peg in the shoulders, and then just fold those down, fold the armor up. Oop. Am I doing something wrong there? No, I was right. You just fold the armor up like that, and oop. You gotta fold the arms all the way down. Come on. There we go. Armor down, and then put that tail back. And boom, you have a very cool-looking boy, but a very strange boy, who is in desperate need of an update, or at the very least, a better kickstand. Let's get positives out of the way first. It's a really nice head sculpt, and I like the paint here. He looks very sinister and conniving. That's good for Steeljaw. And now the bad, kind of the entire rest of the toy. The silhouette, in theory, is really nice. I like the design a ton, but the toy is not living up to that design. Articulation's strange. You have a mushroom peg here at the head, but because it's at an angle, he is able to look up somewhat by looking side to side. You have a hinge here in the shoulder, and then another hinge, and then an upper arm cut. You have an elbow joint, but because the transformation, it feels like you're breaking the toy. It's a detent, which is a weird joint to give this, especially because it's on a transformation slider. Be very careful with that. That is a joint that would be real easy to break. Also, this kibble doesn't lock in, so it's always just kind of flying about. You have a ball joint here in the hip, an upper leg cut, a good single joint knee, and then kind of another knee down here. Nothing in the feet. And because the feet aren't flat, you see they're still curved, and even worse, they're curved so that they're always going to be leaning back. You have to use the tail as a kickstand, which is a shame because look at the tail articulation. You have a hinge, a ball joint, and another ball joint. The tail could have been an amazing way to get cool poses out of this guy, but instead you have to use it and fight. You have to really fight to get this toy standing upright. It doesn't want to. And once it's standing up, I mean, it's this amazing design that looks good, but you wish that you could put it in a more interesting pose. Full cards on the table. This is a great robot mode. Even with the thin arms, I can buy that Steeljaw is just a thinner Decepticon. He's not the strongest, but he's a little bit quicker and a little bit smarter than the rest. I like how that's conveyed in the toy. But I don't know. I hate that I can't use the arms without feeling like I'm going to break the elbows. I hate that he can't stand up. I hate that I can't use the tail. His paint is good for what it is compared to other RID toys. The sculpting is good. The design is on point. I just wish that the articulation and the stability and the joints were better. It's a thing where this is all seasoning and none of the steak. All the extra bits are great. All of the pomp and circumstance is great. But the bit where it actually has to be a toy, that's where Steeljaw really suffers. Don't ask him to be a foundation. Don't ask him to do basic fundamentals. If this guy was a pro wrestler, he'd have an amazing entrance, and he would be great on the microphone, but then he would not be able to walk. Like, he couldn't even do the bare minimum physicality. You know, sometimes that's okay. You make that guy a manager. But here in the toy world, you would turn this into an accessory, because he was not made to be an action figure. What's a real shame is he even comes with a good accessory. He has his claws. This is what he uses to scratch out the Decepticon logos. You put on his hand, and then you have to fight to get it in a position that looks at all usable. And you can get Steeljaw into good-looking poses. Right? You can make him look interesting and fun, but you're going to have to fight for it, and you're not going to get much more dynamic than what I have right here in front of you. Just to compare him to the other RID 2015 guys I don't have many of these toys, but the ones I have I really like. Thunderhoof is a deluxe that feels like he's a Voyager. He has so much presence. Strongarm is an incredibly fun deluxe, and a wonderful woman Transformer character, especially in her proportions. And then you get Starscream, who has a great transformation, a sick robot mode, a great head sculpt. And out of all four of these, I would honestly say that in terms of shelf presence, in terms of just looking good as a toy, Steeljaw has them all beat. As a toy, he looks the best. But as a toy, he plays and functions the worst. It's a horrible, horrible dichotomy. I want him to feel like Steeljaw, or like Strongarm, but instead, he looks better than her. He does. He looks better than Thunderhoof and Starscream, but there's nothing to build off of here, nothing to play with. I basically bought a statue with useless joints. Would I recommend Steeljaw? Maybe. If you're into RID, if you really like the character, he is going to look nice on shelf. But I wouldn't recommend him to any kids. I wouldn't recommend him to any toy photographers. As an action figure, he suffers. And if you're just going to get a figurine of Steeljaw, I'm sure that they did like a Tiny Titans of him. Why not go for that?